Welcome back to Limitless Nerd. We are here with another amazing guest. Today we have Tiara from Crafting on Ilum. Thank you so much for being here. How's it going?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's going good.
So the first thing I want to ask you, which is always, I always love hearing everybody's story. Where did your journey with Star Wars begin? Were you introduced to it as a kid? What's kind of your origin story with Star Wars?
Yeah, so I mean, like I feel like a lot of fans, it mostly starts like within your family, from a fairly young age, you know. So my dad, he despite his denial, is a nerd and loves Star Wars. And so because of him and one of my older cousins, they love Star Wars, and I was introduced to it from a very young age. Like as far as I can remember, it's always just been around, like figurines or the movies on VHS or DVD or whatever they had at the time. So influenced from very young age, fell in love with it. Um, Used to play like with the figurines with my cousin, and I would like steal his figurines because I didn't have my own. And I would, I loved the Zamwesel like ship, the one that like crashes and like the little prongs like squish in just like in the
Oh, yeah,
movie.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, and the panels like fly off. I was obsessed with that. So it's been around forever. And as you get older, obviously, you have your awkward stages and you don't want to like promote that you're a nerd, so you're a closeted nerd. And didn't really like get back in tune with my nerdiness for Star Wars like until college, because I started watching Clone Wars when it came out on Cartoon Network. But when I got older, I stopped watching it, so I didn't finish like all of the seasons. So when Disney Plus, came as an app and stuff, I watched it there, and then I found Rebels, which I didn't know existed, and I just fell way back in love with it. And yeah, been doing content stuff for Star Wars since like 2022.
Yeah, I mean that was my next question. My next question was, obviously you're passionate about Star Wars. What was kind of the moment where you said, "Okay, I love this thing. Let me start talking about it on the internet." Because despite the fact that there are a ton of people talking about Star Wars on the internet, it can be an intimidating thing to start to do.
Yes. Yes, where to begin, like, is the question when you're like, "Hey, I wanna talk about this and engage with the community," but it's so vast, and especially on social media. So my page originally started as, like, a small shop. So, like, during COVID time is when I, like, went heavy into the Star Wars because we had all the time in the world because everything was shut down. And when I was, binge watching Rebels, I was like, "I really want, like, Rebels merch," and I don't think I've seen a whole lot of Rebels merch out there.
Yeah.
So I started to, like, doodle because I like to do, like, artsy stuff on the side on my own. And so I made, like, my own doodles, and I put it on, like, just like a print on demand type of sweatshirt, t-shirt, things like that. And then I was like, well, maybe other nerds will want this. So I started my page with that. And then I saw other content creators like Isabella and Carly and all them. And I saw like them cosplaying. And I was like, this is so cool. You can dress up outside of Halloween. Like you can go to conventions and like mingle and be friends with other nerds. So it kind of evolved into more of like creating cosplay and posting like memes and posting videos outside of the shop. I have now since like closed that because the economy is just terrible. So I wasn't able to maintain that to like pay for a website and all that stuff, along with just like normal adulting, like working full-time job, all that stuff. So it's closed down now, but I definitely still like do Star Wars art on the side. I still have a page for it. I just haven't had a whole lot of time for that recently. But we've been doing other stuff like live streaming, Jedi Survivor, and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd your name come from?
Crafting on Ilum. I get that
Yeah.
question a lot. Yeah. So because I started to do like cosplay and then I also love to draw, I wanted to do something with the name like crafting. Like I wanted it to be like a crafty corner in the nerdy fandom. And then when I was rewatching Clone Wars, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you go to Ilum to craft your lightsaber like the Jedi younglings did, and I was like, "This
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
perfect." And then I
yeah,
played Jedi Fallen Order, and then you also go on Ilum, and that was kind of like an epic moment for Cal, so I was like, "This is a perfect fit." So crafting on Ilum.
yeah. I love that, and yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
it makes perfect sense. I wanna ask you about your cosplays because they're all amazing. First of
Thank
all,
you.
but I will say I'm curious to hear kind of some of your stories behind them because I don't know, and I've got a picture that I'll pull up of some of them. I don't think this is all of them, but I don't know that
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen someone cosplay Shmi.
Mm,
And
yes.
Ahsoka is such a popular character, and a lot of people like to cosplay Ahsoka. But you know, to have, I think you have. I don't think it's in that picture, but her jumpsuit from what is it, season 7?
Oh, yes, from Tales and season 7,
Yeah,
yeah,
and indoor Leia is not one that you see a lot of Leia, but you don't see a lot of indoor Leia.
sure.
And you see a lot of Padme, but maybe not that specific Padme. So a lot of the cosplays that you do are pretty unique. So what kind of goes into picking? I'll use Shmi as an example because I don't think I've ever seen another person cosplay Shmi. What was the idea behind that one?
Yeah, so, I mean, for as, like, a cosplayer, I did, like, a panel at RevelScumCon last year, and I kinda talked about this, but, just kinda, like, cosplaying the characters that you identify with and respect and admire, and then cosplay is just supposed to be fun, right? So you just do whatever you gravitate towards and brings you happiness, and I've loved Shmi for however long. I love Qui-Gon and Shmi. In my headcanon, they are a little romantic couple off on the side in an alternate universe. Um,
I love it.
but Shmi is super underrated. Everything that
Yeah,
she's, like, endured and, like, her perseverance and still, like, her compassion and empathy for other people is super inspiring to me. And like you said, I haven't seen anyone cosplay her, and I
yeah,
just wanted to do something, that was fun and that bring me happiness and, like, bring a character to life that we don't really see, and I have a little bit of OCD, and a little bit of a perfectionist, so I did a ton of research into like the fabrics and like how like brainstorming how I would create this look. And the look took me about 2 months to make, but I just think she's a really underrated character. And even
yeah,
though I'm young and I don't have any kids, I still wanted to embody her and cosplay her and walk around
yeah,
conventions and have fun.
yeah. I mean that, and that's that. It makes it stand out. I mean,
Mm.
I'll be honest. I will always be able to find you at a convention because I just look for Shmi. I look for Shmi, and that's the only one I'm gonna find. But is there a cosplay that you've done that like which one took the longest and which one was like the most challenging to do and maybe the most rewarding when it's finally all on and put together?
Yeah, so while for Trilla, we'll start with her. While I haven't, like, made a lot of the pieces, like, by hand, because I started from, like, a very basic, like, going on Costguy or, um one of those other, like, cosplay sites, and, like, it's just, like, that polyester material, and that's totally okay if that's what you can afford and you feel comfortable in that material and you can move well, but I started with that type of cosplay for her. I purchased her Trilla cosplay, but I didn't like the fit of the shirt, or the pants. It was, like, this, like, weird, like, pleather. It was not enjoyable to wear. I felt like so much sweat accumulated in my pants. It was terrible.
Yes.
So I have started to, like, piece together the pieces of her cosplay, and for what I have right now, like that photo that you have, it's taken me probably about, like a year and a half to 2 years to create the look because I don't have a 3D printer and I wanted those little accessories like the belt and then the rankings and things like that. And then the bracers are 3D printed, but I used to have just like the plastic ones that came with the costume. So in terms of like putting that cosplay together to make it as accurate as I can as of right now, um about a year and a half, 2 years. So that's like the longest, but like hand making, that would be Shmi. It took me 2 months. Bix took me about a month, and then all the other ones were pretty quick, like probably like a week or a day even. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, do you have a favorite one to wear?
Ah, you can't do that to me. I love all of them. They're all my babies. They're all made of love and care. Gosh, it
Yeah,
really just depends on like I would say it really depends on the convention that I'm going to and like who's there. So like for Rebel
sure.
Scum Con, like wearing Bix to go meet Kyle who plays
Yeah,
Cyril, that was super fun to do. Um a lot of, like, confidence aspects go into cosplay for me specifically,
yeah,
just having the confidence to wear things that I don't think that I have the fit for. So cosplaying Padme this year was, like, a big milestone for me personally, just because I was like, "I don't know if I could pull this off," but I finally did it, and so, like, there's an aspect of love there, like, my favorite there. But obviously Shmi is very, very niche and very, very rare, so it's always really fun to wear that, and last year at
yeah,
Rebel Scum Con, I got a lot of, like, fun photos. I was, like, nagging Vader and, like, scolding him, like, from
yeah,
turning to the dark side, like,
yeah,
"How
yeah,
could you?" And, like, things like
yeah,
that. I saw Leia, I took a photo with her, like, my granddaughter, so things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that is super fun. It really depends on the convention and the people who are going to those conventions, like, just adds to, like, the favorite or love of wearing that cosplay.
yeah. I have a suspicion that Bix will be coming back to Rebel Scum Con to because of Kyle coming
Deidre,
back, obviously,
Kyle
and
and Deidre,
yeah, and
yes.
yeah. Any other clues you want to give about what may be coming with you to Rebel Scum Con?
Uh, Bix is definitely one of them that will be making a return. Cause like, with all things, nothing is ever 100% finished, so I'm constantly
Yeah,
working on things to, like, add like, obviously, Bix is not 100% accurate, and cosplay doesn't need to be 100% accurate, but I just like to, like,
yeah,
upgrade things, and so I've got some new, tools, like accurate tools that she actually uses, and then, the vest, I'm getting a new vest, and so we're just upgrading that a little bit. There are some cosplays on my cosplay list that I wanna work on. I wanna do a flow cosplay, and that's also a very niche thing to do. I have no idea how I'm gonna do that, but I definitely wanna do that,
wow.
from Dex's Diner. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know.
I love that. That's fantastic. It's I don't know if it's sad or awesome that you said flow and I automatically knew exactly what you meant, but yeah, that would be super cool.
I wanna be on roller skates and just, like, roll around the convention with a tray in
Yes.
my hand.
Yes. Please, please absolutely do that. But you know, we're talking about Rebel Scum Con and we were talking about a little bit before we started recording. You
Mhm.
know, you have been to both year 1 and year 2. You know, what would you say were some of the highlights from both of those years at Rebel Scum Con? Just because you know, Rebel Scum Con is friend of the show, so I'll talk about them and hype them up
Yeah.
whenever I can. Whenever I can.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, so for Rebel Scum Con Year 1, like, obviously, it was the first year for them, and so they had a ton of guests, and it wasn't just, large name guests like
Yeah,
Hayden or, like, all those actors, but it was, like, very niche. It was very,
yeah,
it was Star Wars focused, first of all, so, like, conventions are all fandoms, but this was specifically Star Wars, and I've never been to a Star Wars celebration, so, like, it was a mini Star Wars celebration for me, and so that's definitely something that I thoroughly enjoyed, obviously, both
yeah.
years because I still have yet to go to a Star Wars celebration because 'cause they've
Me too.
been out of the country. Oh, okay, perfect. Well, we're in the same boat, so it's our mini Star Wars celebration. Um
Yes.
And so just being able to go to those panels and hear about, like, the making of Star Wars from the people who worked on the original trilogy movies with George Lucas, like, that was really amazing to hear. Hearing Ahmed Best speak because I am a prequels baby, so, like, they had their prequels panel
Yep.
with, Ayla Secura and, I think was it Luminara who was no, it was not Luminara, I forget.
No, it was
Um
Barris.
Barris. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, Barris, and then, yeah, and then
most
Ahmed, so
important. Yeah,
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 there was, like, 4 of them, I'm missing Aura Singh, she was there as
yes,
well. Yeah, that was the panel. But yeah, favorite highlights of that was just being able to be immersed in Star Wars because, like, while we do that on social media, it's not the same as interacting in person, and, like, I love
yeah,
obtaining, like, new knowledge and just, like, more lore that I get to spread to people who don't necessarily care what I have to say, but I'm like, "I love Star Wars, and I wanna tell you about these things."
yeah.
Um, so just getting, like, more information, I love going to the panels. Last year, Sam was there and going to his panel, and then I love Andor, and so getting to see Kyle and I always forget his name, the driver
Oh,
from Mon
yeah,
Mothma.
Piero.
Yes. He was there, and that was really fun to hear, like, their stories and insights, and because, like, Kyle has that iconic move in season 2 where he just, like, falls onto the bed in exasperation and being so, like,
Yes.
overwhelmed, just done with everything, and so he reenacted that, and that was super fun to see, and just hearing him talk, he's super entertaining, so all of those things at the convention, I think, really sets, like, Rebel Scum apart because 1, it is Star
Yeah,
Wars centered, and 2, I think that the guests that they bring really add to just, like, the atmosphere of the con.
yeah. I mean, I actually saw that clip again of Kyle, like, flopping on the couch. That popped up again just the other day. But, yeah, I mean, and I'm curious because you actually got to be on a panel or be on a
Mhm.
couple panels, I think, but this is the one I have a picture of.
Oh
But,
gosh.
you got to be on a panel with, a lot of other incredible people.
Yeah.
What was kind of this? I don't know whose idea this panel was. Um, I have a guess of whose idea it was, but what was kind of bringing all of these incredible female creators together on a panel? What was that like?
Yeah, so, I mean, this was Jessica's idea, she hosts the podcast.
That's exactly who I
Yeah.
figured who I figured the
Yeah.
idea was.
Yeah, she does the podcast Rebellion of Hope, and she also talks about people's experience with Star Wars and, like, what bring them into the fandom and, like, their favorite things and all that good stuff, and it's a very enjoyable, passionate conversations that she has on her podcast.
I'm gonna have her on this show.
Yes.
Hopefully before Rebels Come Con. Hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
She's amazing, and in real life,
Yes.
she is one of my closest friends, and so I loved being able to support her and see her, um, create this panel and bring together all of these amazing creators and be able to talk about, like, the woman's perspective within the fandom and, all of
Yeah.
the things that we're passionate about, but, like, content creation and cosplay and, like, supporting, like, others and, like, the inspiration, that we see in each other. So it was super fun to just gather together and we talked about really important topics, I think, that are not necessarily often addressed and can be like seen as uncomfortable, but are very essential to creating
Yeah.
a positive space within the Star Wars fandom. So it was a big array of conversation and topics and we had a lot of good laughs and all of these creators y'all should definitely follow because they all bring their
Yes.
own unique perspective and
Yeah.
things to the fandom and all create silly little reels that we all enjoy and are very
Yeah.
entertaining. So, yeah, they're all lovely people and
Yeah.
I have nothing but good things to say about all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the positivity aspect is like a huge part of this show as well. I'm trying to create a positive because there's so much negativity. I'm just trying to create a positive place, and like you say, all of these people in this picture are incredible. I've had Carly on already, and I hope to have Jess and Nilda both on soon, and Chanel and Isabella are obviously people that I hope to have on at some point, because they are
Yeah.
also just all amazing at what they do. Um, and I was really happy to see all of you on a panel together because you absolutely, as soon as they announced that that panel was going to be happening, I was like, this is an absolute no brainer. Like
Yeah.
that panel should happen every year,
Oh,
and
yeah, definitely tell that to Jessica. I'm sure she would love to do that type of panel. That was all her. She is brilliant,
yeah,
and she also like you said, like we need positivity in this fandom, and just supporting other people is super important
yes,
because it can be really daunting within social media, I think, and you can put a
yeah,
lot of pressure on yourself. So just having that support is very important, and she definitely brings
yeah.
that to the table.
Yeah, shout out to Jess because
Yes.
she's like one of the most supportive people. Um, she's another person kind of like you who I've seen at stuff, but I have never actually
Mm.
met her in person. But
Yeah.
we kind of started a conversation on Instagram, and then she has just been super supportive of me. So definitely a huge shout out to her.
Yeah,
But
sh every Sunday, she posts, like, a post with everyone's
yeah,
episodes or lives that are
yeah,
coming out, and I think it's a wonderful way to bring everyone
yeah,
together and be like, "Hey, these are
yeah,
our friends, like, this is what they've got going on this week. If you can make it, awesome. If not, like, drop that like, etcetera, leave a comment." That's
yeah,
all super important too and helpful.
yeah. And I mean, as much as I'm doing this show for myself
Yeah.
to have cool Star Wars conversations and make new Star Wars friends and all that kind of stuff, one of the and this is kind of, I don't want to say surprised me, but something that I've found, and it really kind of sunk in this past week with everybody that was at the Maul Shadow Lord event that was at
Mhm.
Lucasfilm. I'm realizing that supporting all of my friends and celebrating all of their accomplishments almost like they're my own is like one of the best parts of doing this.
Yes, I love seeing all of my friends be able to succeed. Like, I think a lot of competition, like, starts to form within the community, and I think
Yeah,
that it's, like, least helpful to kind of give into that, because we're all here, like, we're all just nerds to begin with, so I think that should be the main focus, and obviously all of us, like, at one point, like, this became, like, a really, like, big part of ourselves, and so being able
yeah,
to support other people who are being able to experience that, like, going to these events or whatever it is, like, you would want the same thing, and why not
yeah,
just, promote that positivity within the fandom instead of adding more competition, but I
yeah,
digress. It can be very, like, not a gray area, it can just be kind of messy, and so,
yeah,
just being able to talk about each other's, like, stories with Star Wars and, like, the things that we love, I think should just be the focus, but, things yeah.
yeah. And I want to say, because like Star Wars and specifically the like fan community has such a it has a kind of a stigma to it of being, toxic or negative or whatever.
Mm, yes.
I just want to say, as clearly as I possibly can in this moment, that has not been my experience.
Mm.
I started doing the content thing like 7 or 8 months ago, and I have been getting support and advice and everything from creators that are smaller than I am and creators that are some of the biggest. Like, I posted a story yesterday because I got 50 subscribers, which is not going to sound like a lot to a lot of people, on YouTube yesterday. And I posted something about it. And one of the first people to send me a text was Carly. And anybody that is a Star Wars fan and has access to the internet knows that Carly is like one of the, I hate using this term, biggest
Right. Putting
Star
numbers,
Wars,
yeah. Yeah.
Star Wars creators that, is out there.
Mhm.
And but even like from people like Carly and Gabe and whoever else you want to name,
Yeah.
all the, it's been there's no like there's no gatekeeping.
Mm.
There's no I'm a creator at this level and you're a creator at this level, so get to this level and then we can be friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's
Right.
no, I have not had that experience. You know, I genuinely feel like I could pick up the phone and call half a dozen people if I needed advice on something, and they'd answer.
Yeah.
And that I want to talk about that as much as I can, to kind of break that attitude and that feeling that so many people have about Star Wars and Star Wars fans and Star Wars creators and whatever. So I could go on, but I'll
Yeah.
stop because I could go on and on and on, just giving people appreciation. I could go on for a long time,
Right.
but I know a big part of your content, and I can tell just by the background that is behind you. You are a collector.
Yes.
I am also a collector, and I have to ask, which I know this is an impossible question. Do you have a favorite piece in your collection?
That is a very difficult question, sir. They all have their own story, right? Like, we
Yes.
bring into our room what makes us happy and what's sentimental and, you know, has meaning, so I think I say this on a lot of podcasts who ask me this, but so there's this Vader statue right there, and it's the Ralph McQuarrie concept art statue. I forget. I think it's Gentle Giant is who put it out. I don't remember. But I actually got that at Rebel ScumCon year one, and I got it at one of the panels with some of the original trilogy people. I forget exactly who was on that panel. I know that was it Wicket? The guy who plays Wicket? I don't remember if he was there, but there was one or two Ewoks on
Yes.
this panel. um, but that particular statue is probably, like, one of the most expensive things that I own, and it was also something that I got for free because I faced my fears of asking a question in, like, a public forum setting, and got this statue because the panel people decided that I asked the most, like, interesting question. So I, like, think that is, like, my favorite piece just because it was a milestone for me personally because 'cause I'm very much an
Yeah.
introvert.
Me
Um,
too.
so putting myself out there was is a challenge, but I did it and I got something really cool out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm definitely an introvert too. So the fact that there's 20 some odd YouTube videos on the internet now with my face on it
Right.
scares still like terrifies me.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, do you have like, and as a collector, I know most people have one of these too, is there like a bucket list item that you always wanted in your collection, or maybe something you had it, something you've seen somebody else have and you're like, oh, that's really cool, I wish I could get one of those, or something like that?
Well, I really love helmets, even though I only have like 3 or 4 of them. And I know I say like only have, but like, there's a lot of creators and
Yeah, yeah.
collectors that who have millions of helmets, and there's some really cool ones out there. So I
we're looking
definitely
at we're
want,
looking at you we're looking at you, Gabe,
yeah,
with
has
your wall of helmets.
yes, amazing collection. So I definitely want a little bit more helmets. Right now, currently, I am working on the Cantina band. So I've got the 2 little figures here, and I think there's like 6 or 8 total. So I have to get at least 4 more. So I think for collectors, there's like at certain times there's like things that we're really looking for and scavenging for at cons because we want to like
Yes.
complete a set. And so at the moment, that is something that I'm working on. So that's a little bit more feasible than collecting a ton of helmets. So I can't
Fair.
wait and would love to have like the whole band set there. I even have like DJ Rex there that I recently got. So I think it'd be a really cool shelf if I can complete the set.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, collecting it can very easily like spiral out of control. I would know
Yeah.
that. I would know that unfortunately better than most people, but um I was gonna ask you what your favorite helmet is, but I may save that for the game that we're gonna play here
Okay.
shortly. But
Okay.
I have some. I call these rapid fire questions, but if there's an explanation that you would like to give that goes along with it, you can. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to necessarily be rapid fire. But I'm curious, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh gosh. Okay, let me think. Mm, it would be episode 3, but
Okay.
very, very close after that is Rogue One, and I do have, like, a small anecdote for episode
Okay.
3.
Yes.
So,
Go ahead.
episode 3 was the first Star Wars movie that I ever saw in theaters. My dad
Me
took
too.
me with my brother,
Yep.
I was, like, 6 or 7, and being able to
Yep.
see that
Me
on the
too.
big screen was incredible, so that holds a very special place in my heart. But Rogue One,
Yep.
for I think a lot of people's reasons, is, like, the story, the the art, just like the costumes, just the music, it's just visually stunning. So Rogue One and Episode 3.
Yeah. No. I also Episode 3 was also the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters at I think 6. So
Yeah,
I can absolutely agree with that without
yeah.
hesitation. Um, because there's so many of them now, do you have a favorite of the shows? Because it used to just be Clone Wars, but then
Right.
since Disney Plus, it's really just gone insane with shows. But do you have a favorite of the shows?
I would say the first season of Tales. I watch that, like, very
Okay.
regularly, like, I
Yeah.
rewatch it. I mean, when I
Yeah.
first saw it, I remember, like, having to pause after each episode because I literally had chills and had to, like, process what I was watching. Because Qui-Gon is one of my favorite characters, and Count Dooku is the next one, then obviously Ahsoka means so much to so many, including myself,
Yeah.
and so it was just an incredible first, like, start to the Tales series and the music, and, like, while each episode is 20 minutes long, there is a lot of storytelling going on in the music, the
Yeah.
facial expressions, and like the little like pans to like certain people or the areas or whatever it is, it contributes to the story and like continues
Yeah.
to progress it. So I think Tales is very, very peak, and I think it's very underrated. So
Yeah.
Tales, but I loved Rebels as well because that's what like got me back into like my Star Wars groove. So it's very, very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, I nobody has answered that question with tails yet. And I love that answer. I love that explanation. I also love Rebels. I do have to ask, since while we're talking about the shows, have you watched at the time of recording this the first 2 episodes of Shadow Lord?
I have it. I'm gonna watch it
Oh
tonight.
no.
I wanted to record a reaction video to the first 2 episodes, so I've been, like, doing my best to stay off of socials and, like, avoid spoilers,
Yes.
but it's tonight because I can't handle
Okay.
not being able to see, like, first of all, the episodes themselves because it was super anticipated, and then
Yes.
in addition to, like, I wanna see everyone's, like, thoughts and memes and stuff on it, so I'm going to watch it tonight because I wanted to do the
Okay.
reaction, but I definitely will be doing that tonight.
Okay, you're gonna have to text me your reaction to it as soon
For
when you're
sure.
done watching it.
Yes.
But do you have a favorite Star Wars character?
All these picks of favorites. If I had to, like if it was, like, life or death and I had to pick one, I'd either say like, I'd be like, Qui-Gon Jinn/Count Dooku, like, I just, like, blurt it out, but those are, like, my top 2. I've said it on Clan Brandalorian's channel before, and I think I said it on Lex's channel, but, like, my hot take is that Count Dooku has a more tragic story than Anakin Skywalker. So, yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I really don't. I really don't. Shout out Brandon. Shout out Brandon because his episode is coming out like right before yours. So, um,
He's great, yeah.
but well, that kind of ruins my hot take question, but that's okay. Uh, I know that you have live streamed a handful of games on your channel, and I know you just finished Jedi Survivor. It was really it was really fun watching you get towards the end of that. But
Thanks.
do you have a favorite game that you've played?
Well, I grew up playing Battlefront, like, the very first Battlefront, so I love playing that. I love just, like, revisiting Battlefront 2 even now, like, people say
Yeah.
that, like, what is it called? Like, when you have to, like, play online with people in the what is it? The rooms? What is the rooms
Oh
called?
yeah, yeah. The lobbies, yes.
Yes, the lobbies. There's a lot of people who say, like, the lobbies are empty, but I feel like every time I play, like, there's a good amount of people and it's still very much alive, so I love playing Battlefront 2 just as, like, a casual pastime. Um, and I just finished Survivor, but if I had to compare, like, Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, Fallen Order would be my favorite. Like, I prefer Fallen Order over Survivor. I think the story was incredible. I don't know if it was just, like, my experience. While I, like, grew up playing video games, I wasn't, like, a gamer, and so when I played Fallen Order, it was kind of like a new gameplay to me, and I was obsessed with it. Like, I think it kind of
Yeah,
very closely associates with, like, Assassin's Creed, like, the whole, like, puzzles and, like, the climbing and things like that, and
yeah.
being able to see, like, the epic, like, lightsaber moves was very intriguing to me, so Trilla is, like, one of my favorite characters as well, but, Fallen Order, I would have to pick Fallen Order over Survivor. So it's like Fallen Order, Battlefront, and then Survivor.
Yeah. I mean, and I know you have a handful in your collection, but do you have a favorite lightsaber design?
Hmm, favorite lightsaber design? I only have, like, baselit non-specific character hilts, but the one character hilt I have is Count Dooku's. Um, but I really love Gunji's lightsaber hilt.
Yeah.
I think it's really unique. I love, like, the wood style on it. In Survivor, the type of, like, hilt that I put together was very samurai-esque, so it was like it had wood, and then it had, like, the crisscross, like, yarn woven, like, kind of like how Ahsoka has on hers, or not like it's not yarn, but, like, just, like, that crisscross, like, that,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
triangle diamond type of symbol, so I really would love to see a character with more of, like, a samurai-esque lightsaber hilt, even more so than Ahsoka, because I know there's a lot of, like, Japanese influence in Star Wars and for Ahsoka, but if it could be very, very, like, similar to a samurai hilt, that'd be so cool.
It's funny that you say Gunji because I recorded my episode with Andrea last night, and she also said Gunji.
It's so unique, and he's so cute. Oh, wait, actually, speaking about samurai hilts, I mean, I don't think that Visions is technically canon, but obviously the
It's
Ronin's, like,
close enough.
lightsaber
Yes. Yeah,
is
yeah,
very cool. It'd be really cool to have.
yeah. So you kind of gave one already, but do you have another hot take?
Mm,
Even
probably
though
the
even though I don't think Dooku being more tragic than Anakin is that hot of a take, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. So
if you read, Dooku Jedi Lost, like, that book, like, sealed it for me. So I've read Master and Apprentice. I read Master and Apprentice first, and then I read Dooku Jedi Lost, and I was like, "This guy, like, literally had the bestest intentions for the galaxy and for the Order, and just, like, people in general." And, like, while he had, like, the best intentions, he still, like, fell to the dark side, and for what? Like, to get his head chopped
yeah,
off, like, to
yeah,
ultimately amount to nothing. And,
yeah,
like, Anakin, he also remembered, like, his family, like, remembered being, like, when he went back to, like, his home planet and, like, got in touch with his sister, etcetera. But, like, it's very similar to Anakin, but, like, it amounted to nothing. Like, he wasn't able to achieve anything. Like, he spent most
yeah.
of his life fighting, like, the Separatist Republic War, so I don't know, it may not be a hot take, but I know that I've said that a few times and people are like, "What?"
Hey,
Um,
they're just not thinking about it enough.
think critically, guys. Let's really analyze these characters.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, another hot take. I think that's my only one. I know, like, there's some people who don't really like the prequels, and I love the prequels. I think that Phantom Menace is a great movie. I love it. Attack of the
Yeah.
Clones, I get, like, the dialogue is cringy, but, like, the visuals to me growing up were stunning. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa," like and it's all, like, green screen, so, like, these actors are just acting off a blank green screen. Like, it takes
Yeah.
kind of a lot of skill to be able to portray a story if you're just surrounded by nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, both of us being prequels kids right around the same age, and I've said multiple times that unless you could be there in 1977 when Star Wars like literally changed the world, and even maybe
Mhm.
even still in comparison to that, I think growing up as a prequels kid was the best time to grow up with Star Wars. Like, I say maybe 1977 is close, but like growing up in that time with the prequels was such a cool time to be like a Star Wars kid.
Yeah.
Like,
There was I feel
I
like there was a lot of, like, interactive toys, like, we were
yes.
able to immerse ourselves, like,
Oh
within
yeah.
our imagination and, like, act out
Yeah,
the scenes and things like that. Like,
for
I'm not
sure.
too familiar with, like, the toys that were out, like, in the '70s and all that when the original
Yeah.
trilogy came out, but at least for me, prequel-wise, there was a lot of, like,
Yeah.
immersive toys that we were given.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm like looking around the room, and a lot of the stuff that I have around me is like from that time.
Mhm.
The prequels kind of took over the world for a little chunk of time where you couldn't go anywhere. And I remember, especially like right before episode three, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing stuff for episode three. You couldn't go to Burger King, you couldn't go to
Oh,
Walmart,
yeah, Burger King. Yeah.
you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't turn on the TV without seeing, and I just feel like they don't market that way anymore, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. I wish we could go back to the time where a big blockbuster movie comes out and it quite literally takes over the world for 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, the toys now I feel like even, like, with certain Lego sets, it's very I don't know, it's very, like, one-dimensional. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I there were so many, and I'm trying to think of if I can think of like a specific example or like look around and find one of like a toy that came out back then that just would never get made now.
The Jar Jar tongue lollipop thing?
Yeah.
That would probably not get made
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, that one I'm not sure that one should have gotten made to begin
To begin with.
yeah, I'm not sure that that one should have gotten made to begin with, but yes, I agree, that would not get made now. But, oh, that's bringing back things that oh, yeah, no, those are, if you don't know what we're talking about, just I would say go look it up, but I will save you the emotional trauma, so don't look it up. But, I have a game, if you're down to
Okay.
play a game,
Yes, yes,
and,
definitely.
this this can this can go one of a few ways, actually, because this is a blind ranking, and
Okay.
these always get fun. And, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and we are gonna do helmets.
Okay.
So you have spaces 1 through 10,
Okay.
1 obviously being the best and 10 being the worst. And I'm gonna give you a helmet, and you're gonna tell me where you want it to go,
Okay,
and
as a
we will.
preface, I'm terrible with like names of like characters or just things in general. Like I know the image of it, but I'm terrible with the names,
Yes.
so I might need clarification. But yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Um, the first one I'll give you is pretty basic. I'll give you Kylo from the sequels,
Ooh, okay. It's 1
and
through
you can
10.
pick.
Okay.
Yes, and you can pick either like his helmet from Force Awakens or after he smashes it and puts it back together in Rise of Skywalker. I'll let you pick. They're close enough to the same thing.
Okay. I would put Kylo's at Ugh. Okay, let's do 6. Let's put it at 6.
Okay, that's not bad. How about this? He's about to get a movie, but his helmet is pretty basic. What do we think about Mando?
Mm.
It's about as basic as a Mandalorian helmet can be.
I know, but it was for me, like, I'm thinking about the helmet and being able to, like, see it live action first time,
Yeah,
and how cool that was. So I think I'd put
yeah.
it at 5.
All right, that's. I'm not gonna argue. I was kind of playing devil's advocate. I love Mando's helmet. Um, let's see. How about just the standard stormtrooper? Original
Oh,
trilogy,
okay.
standard stormtrooper. You can't argue with the fact that it's iconic.
Classic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But there's, like, so many others that I'm like, "Oh, this is, like, so much better." People might hate me, but I'm gonna put it at 7 because I wanna leave room for the rest of them.
That's okay. Let's see. What do I? How? Well, let's just keep it going with this. How about the basic? How about the basic clone? And well, I guess there's two different versions, so I guess I need to specify.
Phase 1, let's
Uh,
do phase 1. I'm
let's
fine with
let's do
phase
phase one. Yeah, let's do phase one.
I love
Everybody talks
phase
about phase
1.
two, but let's yeah, everybody talks about phase two, but let's talk about phase one.
I would put phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet at 5. Or wait, do
You
I already
already
have
have
something in 5? Okay, put it at
yeah,
4. It's gonna be high
four.
for me,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, I like it. I like it. Another newer one. What about the armorer?
I'm not, like I don't really care for it, so I'm gonna put it,
Really? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I have something in 7 already, right?
You do.
Okay, so I'll just put it at an 8. I don't care
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
That's okay. That we can take that as your hot take.
As my hot take that I don't really care for the armorer's helmet. I don't know, I just don't find it, like, special in any way, so
I know that Rebels got you back into Star Wars. So what do you think about Sabine's? And
Oh, yeah,
she
okay.
repaints hers all the time, but the style
Right.
of it is pretty much the same.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I know that there's other ones that are gonna pop up. Imma put it at a 3. It's at the 3. It's a 3.
Okay. All right. Let's quit joking around and get the heavy hitter out of the way. What do we think
Okay.
about what do we think about Darth Vader?
Oh, yeah, that's 1. That's 1 for sure.
Okay. 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 That so you have spaces 2, 9, and 10.
Oh gosh, I did not place them well at all. Okay, continue, continue.
What
2, 9, and 10. Okay.
what do we think about the just and these come in different paint jobs as well, and I get that. But what do we think about the basic just the X-wing helmet?
Oh man. Okay. I don't wanna put it so like, it's definitely not lower than the armor's helmet, but that's the only spaces I have. I guess we're gonna put it at
Uh,
a 9, like, that's not what I intended. I definitely love that more than the armors, but that's just how it played out.
hey, that's the beauty of a blind ranking. That's exactly how these things work. So you have space 2 and space 10. This could get interesting. What do you think? What do you think about Boba Fett?
Oh, I'll put it
Another
at 10.
Mando.
I don't mind
Okay.
at a 10, yeah.
See, now I'm curious. Like, which one were you holding out for? And I
I thought
can't
you were gonna
decide
say,
if
like,
I can't
specifically
decide.
Rex's or even, like, the,
Okay, yeah.
or even the strangers, I would've put that at a 2. And then
So
what about
you still have one more
Oh,
that will
okay,
go in
okay.
space too. Um, and I just completely forgot which one I was gonna give you for that one, and now I'm blanking and trying to look around the room to see something that will jog my memory as to which one I was talking about. Um, oh, I was gonna give you the stranger. I was gonna give you
Okay.
Chimera.
Yeah,
So if
2.
you're
Put it at a 2. Yeah. The only one that I'm,
so
like, unhappy about is the X-wing being up, like, below the armor, but everything else I feel like I'm content with.
so you what you ended up with was Boba Fett at 10, X-wing at 9, Armorer at 8, Stormtrooper at 7, Kylo at 6, Mando at 5, Phase 1 clone at 4, Sabine at 3, The Stranger at 2, and Darth Vader at number 1.
It's fine.
It could have been worse.
It could have
It
been
could have been
worse.
worse.
You're right.
It could have been much worse. It could have been much worse. But we have, as the time of recording this, Maul Shadow Lord is currently airing on Disney Plus. Mando and Grogu may or may not be out by the time this episode comes out. Ahsoka season 2 possibly releasing this year. A third Cal Kestis game
Yeah.
hopefully getting announced any day now.
Yeah.
Starfighter is quickly approaching. There's a Ray movie supposedly coming. Of all the upcoming projects that are rumored, announced already, what kind of what's kind of piquing your interest as the thing that you are looking forward to the most?
Well, I love Maul. He's definitely, like, in my list of, like, top 10 favorite characters, so I was really anticipating the show, and it just looks so
Yes.
beautiful, like, the art is
Yes.
incredible, and all of the time
Yes.
and love that went into the show, I feel like has already shown, like, within the trailers, um like, even the Duel of the Fates, like, variation that's in one of the
Yes.
trailers that came out was incredible.
I need that on Spotify, like,
Yeah, I added
right
it, like,
now.
when it came out, yeah. I've listened to it a few times already, so, definitely the Mall Show. I'm excited for Star Wars to be back on the big screen, like, I know that people have their reservations about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but I am just looking forward to, with all of the, like, re-releases back on the big screen, like, Return of the Jedi was on a few years ago, and then Episode 3 last year. I loved being able to go to the movie theaters with, like, a group of Star Wars people and, like, enjoy that together, so I'm excited for that. Not sure how the movie is going to be because I wasn't a fan of season 3 of The Mandalorian. I felt like it was very all over the place. So don't know how the movie's gonna be, but I'm optimistic. And then obviously can't wait for Ahsoka. I just finished Survivor, so I very much want like the next step in Cal's journey to be announced. Um at least a release date or sometime when that's supposed to come out, and then Starfighter seems intriguing, like, I saw, Project Hail Mary, I know that was kind of like a big movie
Yes.
recently, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I liked Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling in it, so I'm kind of excited to see how that movie is gonna play out. um yeah, I mean, there's, like, a lot of new games coming out too, and I'm very much getting back into, like, my gaming era, and so, there's, like I forget what it's called, something Squad, I think, that's coming out, a
Oh,
game,
yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but I
something
know which one you're
Squad.
talking about. I know
Yeah,
what you're
and
talking about.
then another pod racer one, and then, like, something with the Knights of the Old Republic or something like that. So there's a lot of games coming out that I feel like is very much gonna fuel my Friday nights. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, like, we're being fed as Star Wars fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's funny. I also went and saw Project Hail Mary recently, and I knew absolutely nothing about that movie before I saw it. I didn't even know that it was based on a book until after,
Yeah.
and um, I went to see it just because I wanted to see how is Ryan Gosling in a space movie,
Yes. Yeah.
and I because I was nervous about Starfighter. I was like, I don't know how this guy fits into Star Wars. Um, Loved Project Hail Mary,
Yeah.
which was not a part of the plan. I just was trying to go see Ryan Gosling in space, but loved that movie. So I'm definitely, if he can bring a lot of that same energy into Starfighter, I will definitely be on board for that. But I am also, yeah, I'm very, very excited to see Star Wars back in theaters again with something new that's not
Yeah.
just a re-release. It it's been longer than people realize since there was a new Star Wars movie in theaters. I mean, it's been what, 6 years, something like that.
Approximately. Yeah.
And personally, I don't. I know I'm gonna love Mando and Grogu, even if it sucks. I know I'm gonna just want to go see it again and again in theaters just to say Star Wars is back in theaters again, just
Yeah.
because that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for, and you need to watch Maul. Watch Maul as soon as we're
Yes,
done because
tonight. Yes.
it it is as beautiful as you think it is from the trailer. It is.
Yeah,
It is.
I bet.
Um, but I'm curious. I love this next question because I always get a interesting answer. Um, in a hypothetical world, if new president of Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni, came to you and said, "Tiara, we need something new in Star Wars. It can be a book, a movie, a show, animated, live action, comic book, video game, novel, casting decision, whatever you say right now, Lucasfilm is going to go do it. It will be a reality. Lucasfilm is powerless to say no. What would you put on the table for Star Wars? What does Tiara, the Star Wars fan, want made if you had absolute power?
I have 2 ideas. So one of
Okay.
them is not, like, an original idea, but I would love to see all of, like, the deleted scenes from the prequel movies to be released, like, as a whole movie, so I can see the whole movie without anything deleted. I would love to see episode 2, like, Anakin going back with Padme to meet her parents and things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Even episode 3 has, like, a lot of deleted scenes, that, like, are at the start of the rebellion with, like, Padme
yeah,
interacting with Mon Mothma, and those
yeah,
got cut out, so I would love to see that. I feel like now that we have, like, Andor and a lot more other projects that have been released, I feel like it flows a lot better now because I think
yeah,
back then that's why he took them out. I'm not sure, but I think it would be a great addition.
yeah,
My second idea, and I've probably already like alluded to it because I love Count Dooku and Qui-Gon, but how we saw like the Tales episodes with Count Dooku and Qui-Gon, I would love to see like a whole like Clone Wars season, like a first Clone Wars season, but just about Count Dooku and Qui-Gon as a Padawan and Master, and like
yeah,
going through the trials, like Qui-Gon, Count Dooku picking Qui-Gon, like all that. So I would love to see all of that play out in animation.
yeah.
So
So just take those Tales episodes and just make a whole season out of it,
yeah, just
basically.
expand on it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That I would watch that. I'm curious. Obviously we've been talking about Star Wars this whole time, but are there any fandoms that you are a part of outside of Star Wars? You know, any shows, movies, games? You know, what kind of stuff do you like outside of Star Wars?
Yeah, so I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, if I wasn't making Star Wars videos, whatever you wanna call it, it's content creation. I also kind of hate, like, the word content creation, like, I'm just, like, being nerdy,
Yeah,
I'm just doing
yeah,
things that a nerd does and putting it out
yes,
there.
yes,
But if I wasn't doing Star Wars stuff, I would be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff. I watch that just as frequently as I watch Tales, like, I rewatch it so often. Um
yeah,
so and I'm super excited for the Legends of Aang that's coming out soon in 2027, like the movie that's coming out. So
yeah,
I'm very much looking forward to that. But Avatar: Last Airbender, Fallout, I love the Dragon Prince. Like I love animation. Like I love animated series. I'm getting back into anime. I haven't watched anime in such a long time, but I loved Inuyasha growing up and like that's why I was so excited for Visions because it was just like my 2 worlds colliding. And I haven't really mentioned Visions too much, but I loved the first season of Visions. Um, I thought it was like a really fantastic new way to like tell Star Wars stories, but with like new arts and different styles.
yeah,
So yeah, I love animations. I love watching movies. I really do. I love going to the movie theater and watching new movies like Project Hail Mary and things like that. So
yeah.
I'm a big lover of a lot of things, but Star Wars is the big one for me.
Yeah, I'm actually like this is the first time it's only April and I've already seen 3 movies in theaters this year, which I
Yeah.
haven't that hasn't happened in I couldn't tell you how long. You know, because I had just kind of quit going to the theater for stuff, you know, just because whether I was busy or it was easier to just wait for it to be streaming somewhere or
Yeah, that's
what.
fair.
But I mean, this year is so stacked with movies, like, and I've already seen 3 in theaters, and I was
Yeah.
telling my buddy the other day, I was like, I'm like excited to be going back to watch stuff in theaters this year,
Yeah.
more so than I have been for quite a while. But if you if you're a big Fallout person, you need to talk to Bobby because Bobby is like obsessed with Fallout.
Yeah, just started playing Fallout 4 and I've like I've been addicted. That's all I've been doing. Like outside of Survivor, my streams, that's what I've been doing on my
Yep.
pastime.
I'm curious, kind of getting towards the end here, but I'm curious, what does the future look like for you? What is the future for the channel, for the cosplay, for the conventions, for what's the future look like for you, and what do you see it as now and going forward?
Yeah, so I mean, like, I do a whole bunch of things with my channel. I do collecting, conventions, cosplay, random silly videos, like whatever pops up in my head. But my page was specifically just for Star Wars, but as of recently, I've been like branching out being like just making content like for other fandoms as well, like Fallout and Avatar. So going forward, my page will be primarily Star Wars, but along the line will be sprinkled in a little bit of like different fandoms. And I'm hoping to like do some cosplay for other fandoms. Like I just recently did a Fallout Vault Dweller
Yeah,
cosplay, and that was really fun to do. So just doing that and just doing more live streams. I had to take a hiatus just because of, like, life stuff, and when I got back into streaming and doing live streams, I just really forgot how much I love interacting with this community, how much fun it is, and, like, playing video games, I love doing that, so, playing a lot more video games, definitely in the near future. Rebel ScumCon is coming up in August, and I'm definitely hoping I can make that, so we will see how finances look, but, um assuming that I'm attending, I will be making new cosplays. So I'm hoping to make at least one new cosplay. We'll see if that's Flo or Iden Versio or someone else. So we'll see
yeah.
what I'm able to do at that time. But yeah, just continuing to be nerdy and interacting more with people. I really want to make it a goal. Like, everyone's, like, doing, like, the New Year's resolutions, like, way back in January, and, like, mine is just to be more, like, active, with the community because I'm very much, like we were talking about earlier, an introvert, and so, like, I don't tend to, like, comment on things or, like, I'll like and,
Yeah.
like, sometimes I'll comment, but I really want to, like, vocalize my support and adoration for my
Yes.
friends and just kind of
Yes.
promote that more. So,
Yeah.
that is my goal going forward as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, yeah, I'm definitely more of an introvert too. So I'm trying to like engage more, and
Right. It's difficult, it's definitely
it
difficult,
is.
but we gotta
Yes, it
start
is.
somewhere.
It
Yeah,
definitely is.
yeah.
All of your stuff will be tagged in the description, but in case people are lazy and don't want to go down to the description to look for it,
Fair.
where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm primarily on Instagram and YouTube. I'm more so on Instagram, like, any announcements or notifications or posts or whatever you will see on my Instagram. Definitely more active recently, and that's all under crafting on Ilum for both YouTube and Instagram.
Okay. And like I say, it'll be tagged and all that stuff in the description. So just go down there and find it.
Yeah.
Tiara, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out. It's nice to, I guess, officially meet you.
Yeah,
We were talking about
virtually,
it before we
officially.
started. We were talking about it before we started recording that we've like been at multiple events at the same time and just
Yeah.
never crossed paths. I guess I don't know,
Yeah.
but thank you so much for everything you do for the community that you've built, and I hope to see you at Rebel Scum Con
Yes,
actually
definitely.
this time.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time and coming on and hanging out.
Yeah, thank you, I had so much fun.
We are going to continue doing new episodes every other week, um, for the foreseeable future. That may change by the time this episode comes out. Check Instagram. I'm gonna say it's every other week. If it changes, it'll be on Instagram. But thank you so much for coming on, and until next time,
Yeah.
may the force be with you.